Muy buenas tardes con todos. Muchísimas gracias por conectarse el día de hoy. Tenemos un webinar muy especial preparados para ustedes. Estamos hoy con University of Technology Sydney, también conocida como UTS, y aquí estamos con Lisa y con Rachel que nos van a hablar de las oportunidades que tienen esta universidad para ustedes. Les recomiendo que revisen las becas que tenemos en nuestro website. Como saben, UTS es parte de nuestros convenios y en esta oportunidad, para beneficiarios del programa Crédito Beca, tenemos 6 becas del 50% para beneficiarios con el futuro en Masters by Coursework, 3 becas del 100% en Masters by Research y 5 becas del 100% en Doctors by Philosophy. Entonces, si es que estos son programas que están interesados, si están interesados en aplicar a esta institución, les invito a que también apliquen al programa Crédito Beca. La convocatoria cierra el 28 de febrero y es una muy buena oportunidad para ustedes. Es una financiación de hasta $50,000 para estudios totalmente presenciales de tiempo completo y maestrías y doctorados. Entonces, bueno, aquí les dejo con Lisa y con Rachel. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and the floor is yours.
Okay, sure. Good evening. I can't see you guys. Thank you for joining us. My name's Rachel. I'm from UTS Sydney, and I'm here today with Lisa, which is our regional team manager, leader in this team. So we look after specifically in Latin America, this region. So what I want to do is I want to start to share a short video. It's like a 1 minute to sort of introduce a little bit how this UTS looks like, how there's a little bit of the taste of how the Sydney life looks like. Okay, let me see here. Okay, thank you. So we're very lucky because we're actually in the central, the CBD of Sydney. So you can see a lot of food in the film because there's a lot of good restaurants around it. And the video shows a lot of our building as well. Now I can take you to our webinar today, which I'll probably point out some of the key building, which when you come to UTS, you'll see. Okay, sorry. Let me just go back to the first one. Okay. So this is the brief of UTS. So this is our tech lab. It's a big data lab in the FEIT. If you're interested with engineering courses, you definitely need to visit that. We have another campus in Moore Park, which is specialized for sports related sort of courses. This one, it's like we call it, it's like a cake. Sorry, it's like a cake. Upside, how do you say, upside down cake. This is our new building. I think this is a library. Next one. Yeah, this is a new building as well. And this one, like we call it like a how do I say, a paperback, a scrunched paperback. This is our business school. FEIT, that's a new building, and there's a science building as well. In the middle is we call alumni green. So when it's good weather, sunny in Sydney, our student will sit there, have their lunch. Okay. So we are globally recognized for the latest ranking. We are sitting on number 8, the Young University, 11, the QS on the QS ranking, 133, the World University ranking, 137, the QS World University ranking. Okay. So UTS at the a brief, we have more than 45,000 students, and 12,000 of them are international students. We are the number 1 in university, young university in Australia, and we have more than 150 undergrad and 240 plus postgraduate courses across traditional and emerging disciplines. So we have more than 260,000 alumni living in more than 140 countries. And we do have a spread out location for our campus. The main one is in Broadway, Haymarket. I'm not sure, I've never been this one before, to be honest. So Blackfriars and Botany and Moore Park. Moore Park's the one I showed earlier mainly for sports. Okay. So this is just a brief for our students. What does the mix will be like? So we got 33,000 plus for undergrad, 9,000 close to 10,000 for postgrad, higher degree research about 2,326. Okay, sorry, let me just check. I can't see the button. Okay, sure. So the biggest standout for UTS is we are making our student job ready. So all the courses, if you've been to, if you've seen our courses guide, the structures and lectures and tutoring and tutorial, it's all very practical. So we make ready for the future work. So it's emerging with what's in the real life in the workplace. Okay. So here's our disciplines. So I know the popular one, we got engineering. That's very popular, and that's our top one as well. And business school. Also, they are TDI, which is new. TDI, it's a new courses, which is a combination of IT, mathematics, science. It's a new sort of like a data analyst. It's a new courses, which new discipline, which UTS is implementing. I think the past 2-3 years. We do have other discipline like architectures, science, and nursing, which is health. That's our big one as well. And obviously information technology, that's the popular one as well. Okay, now here's some key days of our intake. Oopsie, sorry. Yeah. So because for autumn 23, it's started already, so I won't go through that. So the next intake will be spring 23. Majority of the postgrad courses will offer spring, autumn. Some of them may be summer. Summer, it depends on the courses and depends the subject. Sometimes it's not available for all the courses. So for spring 2023, if you're interested, we would suggest you to lodge your application as soon as possible. And you probably need to start your visa application as soon as possible because the orientation will starting the last day of July. For summer, it's usually an intensive session, so intensive course. It's like a shorter week as well. So the session commenced there will be the 4th of December. But do check if you're interested with the summer course, you do check the availability. For merging with the cohort 2 or result, probably autumn 2024 gives you a better lead time for get everything ready and so autumn 2024, the orientation which started usually the first week of Feb. If you're based in overseas, we suggest you to finalize, lodge your application before the 30th of November. So here's the requirement with the postgraduate courses. So first one, it's definitely we will look at the bachelor's. You need to have a complete the bachelor's degree. Work experiences, it's not compulsory, but some of the courses they will evaluate your work experiences in the relevant field as well. This is depending which courses you actually apply. So if you do have a relevant work experiences, usually I'll suggest you put on your resume so we can assess more if that's required. And personal statement, like a statement of purpose, why do you want to choose? Again, this is not compulsory. This is usually depends on the course as well. Work portfolio, it's usually more for design courses. If you're interested in design, architectures, that sort of courses, yes, you need to submit your work portfolio, like a profile, what sort of design you have done before. Interview will be usually more relevant with our health courses. For example, if you want to study a Master of Pharmacy, physiotherapies, pathologies, that sort of courses definitely needs to have an interview before you get an admission place in the course. So I'll share the UTS handbook link later on because handbook's very, very good resources where you can look at each courses where like what's the requirement and what's the material I need to prepare it. Okay, here's English. So English, the standard minimum UTS English language requirement, it's IELTS 6.5 as overall and the writing score of 6. I got some other approved English test requirement here as well. Also, if you are taking the English test, the result only has 2 years. You can't be more than 2 years because how do you see the 2 years is by the time when you applied. So the English result should have extended 2 years from the day you reply. If you have any bachelor's or master degree which was taught in English, or maybe you have done it somewhere else and as taught in English, you might provide a certified letter from your awarding institution to indicate the media instructions is English. That might be acceptable. We just have to see before our office to consider to waive your English requirement. Again, if you have done a complete recognized Australian advanced diploma or diploma, that can be considered to waive your English requirement as well. So just be sort of, the note is here, the teaching, if you want to do health related, the GSH program, nursing, and some other courses might require higher English levels. Here's a link as well. So this is recorded, so you can take a screenshot, you can go and have a look whether the English requirement will be slightly different. Okay, here's the Kofuturo UTS scholarship information. So 50% tuition fee scholarship for master coursework times 6, like 6 will be awarded. Must be a successful Kofuturo loan recipient. Separate scholarship application not required. Scholarship based on academic merit. So the key day application time is January to 28th of Feb. Basically last day of the Feb. The result will be available by mid-May. So it's 100% tuition fee scholarship for masters by research. There will be 3. We'll be awarding 3. So 3 students. 100% tuition fee scholarship for PhD. There will be 5. UTS does offer other scholarship as well. So on the top, the Vice Chancellor, this one, if you're interested, you want to be considered for the Vice Chancellor scholarship, this one need a separate application. And this one you need to check on our UTS website because they had open day. They have an application open day and close day. So make sure you will lodge your application before the deadline. And this will be award 100% tuition fee, and it will be 2 student per year. We do have other scholarship which you do not need a separate application. The first one is postgraduate academic excellence scholarship, 35% tuition fee. This is for the whole durations of your course in UTS. The grant for mastered by coursework studied, this is 3,000 for the first session. The grant for master by coursework student, usually it's more applicable for student who has recently complete a Australian, for example, a bachelor's degree, then apply for UTS master's degree. So that's, you need to have a complete Australian recognized degree. Postgraduate business scholarship is 20% tuition fee scholarship. Again, this is for the whole durations as well. And again, this one is more applicable for student who has a complete recognized Australian degree prior they join UTS. Like we have another two. So LATAM, International Postgraduate Coursework. This one, again, no separate application. This is 25% tuition fee. Another one is the International Scholarship. This is a 20%. This is all automatically will be assessed for. Okay. So postgraduate research scholarship, there are 3 different scholarship, and there's no separate application required. They will be automatically assessed on. So international research scholarship up to 3.5-year tuition fee. The next one is training, international research training program scholarship up to 3.5 tuition fee plus living stipend and overseas student health covered. And the UTS President Scholarship, it's up to 3.5-year living stipend. It's quite sort of it's pretty good. So it's about 30,000 per year, tax free. So how to apply a UTS with the UTS? There are 5 very easy steps. So first, I'll suggest you check our handbook and choose the area, the field you want to study, and select your course. And complete your online application, lodge an online application, attach your supporting documents, which basically it's your academic details, academic transcript, original transcript, your SOC, supporting document, maybe your work experience, a CV, the statement of purpose. Submit online. Then you'll receive the acknowledged email from UTS, and we will advise you the outcome. Research is slightly different. Research degree, you will be contacted on this email. So they are separate application from the coursework. Okay. So here's an online course guide, which I found is very useful. So basically that's our link. So once you go into uts.edu.au, oh, sorry, this has been covered up. Oops, I will share it. I think the link is on the last slide as well. Oops. Okay. So I'll show you the link on the last slide. So when you go into the brochure download, so you'll see this is our postgrad. This is our latest one for 2023. And so this is that's a hard copy. This is another one, so hard copy. It's in page 166 course summary table. So you can see, for example, you can see the course code and what's that business administration, how long is the course, and what's the requirement, and what session we offer. So Feb means autumn, July it's our spring session. And give you a roughly idea the course fee. So the course fee, this is for 2023, just 2024, it's not yet confirmed, okay? All right, so now for any case scenario which the student, or if you do not meet our academic requirement or English requirement, we do have our pathway. You can consider for a pathway through UTS College. If you're giving consent on your application form, we will refer your application to UTS College. If you don't give your consent, you have the options. We will also provide you the link. You can go online and check their courses. They will contact you, explain more. So English, it could be a grade cert and grade D or master or pre-master if the academic requirement is not met. So here's some useful link. So UTS handbook, I'll always say go to the handbook referred because it has all the detailed course structures and everything. And scholarship, or above mentioned scholarship, you can find in a scholarship link. And this is the RPL. So if you want your prior learning to be recognized, check on this link. There's an RPL form you need to fill in and submit and attach with your subject outline as well. And how to lodge a PhD application, this is the link because they do have a separate application process. And the UTS course guides here, that's a link it's a little bit cut up and on the previous slide. So that's where you can find our course guide online. So it's easier rather than flick through the books. And here's the UTS English requirement. Have a look. So it has all the English requirement for the courses you'll be interested in. Okay. So the last one is how to contact us. So if you want to send us an email, sponsored.student with no S at uts.edu.au. And that's the local domestic contact number. If you're unsure, probably if you want to call or visit us, that will be another options. And myself will be attending a BMI event on the 4th and the 5th. I think it's a Saturday and Sunday. Let me just double check the day in Bogota in the Grand Hyatt. So if you do have questions you want to ask me, you can come and to our booth and ask face to face. Okay, I think that concludes our presentation today.
Thank you so much, Rachel. A todos los que están conectados, no sé si tienen alguna pregunta, las pueden poner en el chat y con muchísimo gusto podemos ir contestando. So while the questions come in, I know we already spoke a little bit about, requirements, English language proficiency tests. Can you kind of tell us a little bit of what is the ideal student that you're looking for, especially when it comes to international students? What is your ideal candidate?
I'll let Lisa to answer this.
Wow. Okay. Well, look, Australia and Sydney's a very multicultural place. So, someone who's willing to open up and enjoy what Sydney has to offer. We have a very outdoor lifestyle as well as our campus. It's, as Rachel mentions, it's all surrounding this middle green. We pride ourselves on having this middle section of green grass in the middle of the city. It's the closest university to the city in the centre of Sydney. So it really gives students a really great opportunity to be very much part of Sydney and Sydney culture. But what we're looking for is students who are willing to integrate and study hard and put their all in and make the most of their experience. So not only with their academics and taking the opportunity to meet their course representatives and other students at the university, but also to enjoy Australian life, I would say.
Great. Thank you so much, Lisa. So we do have a couple of questions that are coming in, and to everyone that's listening, any questions that you have, please feel free to put them in the chat. I already see a couple here. So this is a question about the scholarship deadlines. Is there any problem on applying for the scholarship if I send my application to begin in spring of 2024? I think this is more of a timeline question. So maybe we can just, give a general answer of when students should be applying for the scholarship deadline.
So the only scholarship will have the deadline would be, for example, Quoth Futuro and the Vice Chancellor. That's the only two scholarship where when I present, that's the only two will have a deadline. The other scholarship, for example, the PGAE LATAM does not have a deadline. However, each session it might change. For example, at the moment, I think it's all valid until 2024. So that might change, then we will broadcast, will let you know. So if you're talking about deadline, just look out for Quoth Futuro and Vice Chancellor.
Great, thank you so much. And then just to remind everyone about the deadlines for Colfuturo, the open call closes on February 28th. You do not need your admissions letter to submit an application to Colfuturo, although if you have it, you will get extra points on your application. But if your question was more geared towards, Colfuturo, you can still apply to Colfuturo by February 28th without your admissions letter and then apply to the university of your choice. Here is another question about English proficiency exam. So they say that they have an old IELTS result. If they can submit that for conditional admission and then retake the test if it doesn't match the deadline. So, sometimes students submit an old score and then because they're taking a test after a deadline. So if we can just talk a little bit about that.
If old IELTS, yes, you can submit along with the application. And yes, your application will be assessed for other part, for example, academic requirement. And yes, we can issue a conditional offer based on English is not met. We are not able to convert it to a full offer until the English is met.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And here we have a question about life in Sydney. I love these questions. If there are any websites, blogs, anything that you can suggest so they can learn about what is life like in Sydney, what is the average cost of rent, kind of like that. How do I afford to live in Sydney kind of questions?
The best website I would say is Study New South Wales. There's a whole range of those type of answers on there. Also, UTS has a whole range, and on our website itself, guides to cost of living and accommodation. And if they are interested, for example, to live on campus, I also advise them to look into putting their name down as soon as they've got the thought, because we used to have quite a few student accommodation options. We do have a lot of student accommodation, but it fills up very fast. It's very popular.
Great, thank you so much. Then we have two questions that kind of go hand in hand. If they can check which teacher, which professor is teaching each course, and then where can they find detailed course description. So I feel like those two go hand in hand. So just website everybody, but I'll let Lisa talk a little bit more about that.
So the course handbook is definitely the best place to get the detailed description of each course, and also there's also an outline as to each subject and those details. It also has assessment details, weighting. Really look into it. It has a course structure and program recommended. Program depending on which intake you start at. So I would definitely look at that. In regard to who your professor or lecturer might be, that might be a little bit more difficult until you start on campus and you enroll. You receive a timetable, and then once you have your timetable, then you'll get more information on who they'll be. There's definitely faculty emails though that are also in the course guide online. So if you, and also you can actually have a look at details on professors who online, I would say, through our course book.
Thanks so much, Lisa. And then we have a really cool question here. They are asking, what do you think makes UTS different than other universities in the world and in Australia?
What do you think, Rachel?
We're not how do you say, we're not a shop market, and we're not going to say anything bad for other university. But like I said, what stands out the most, myself, I wasn't graduate from UTS. What stands out for me is the job ready, because I've been to a lot of faculty tour. What we very focused, UTS very focused on, is we emerging what you're learning into the workplace. I think that's what the biggest standout. And academically, we're very, I think our university is very advancing our FEIT courses, all the engineering and information technology, and TDI as well. I think TDI in Australia, we are the first university started TDI courses. So that's my biggest standout from UTS to other university.
Yeah, and I'll also add as well that we're the most centrally located university in the city, and also state-of-the-art facilities. We're the newest, youngest state university with all modern and, I mean, beautiful facilities.
Great. Thank you so much, Lisa. And Rachel, you mentioned, the job readiness. We just had a question come in about, hiring timeframes while studying, after studying. If we can talk a little bit about that, what kind of opportunities are there for international students in Australia after they complete their degree?
So this is probably very case by case, but from my understanding, so I went to, for example, a FAST, like a, how do you say, like social media and the multimedia tool. So what happened is the student will create an app. That's their sort of part of their work. And they will have seminar from the employer, for example, banks in Australia. They will sort of join the seminar and they will sort of see how the student does the app. And that's one of the sort of opportunity. Another opportunity is there are a lot of internship available if the student is interested. Obviously, you need to do some research in your field. There will be definitely internship. And plus, UTS has a UTS Career Hub, which is if you want to start early, for example, in the second year of your courses, or maybe the second half year of your second semester of your first year of your courses, this UTS Career Hub, they are the counselor, the best person to go to. So the three sort of options or pathway you sort of can explore, and there are more opportunities for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rachel. And we will close our questions with visa requirements, student visa requirements. If we could just, reiterate a little bit about what students need to get their student visa to study in Australia.
The only thing I know is you compulsory needs to have the overseas student health cover. That's the only thing I know, because we don't do visa processing. This is up to the Home Affairs, like the government guidelines.
Yeah. So please use the website, Australian immigration website, to get the details that you need. I recently, depending on the country, I recently heard that sometimes if you have English qualifications with your visa entry, it sometimes helps. But that would be country dependent, and it is country dependent.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here today. Rachel, if you can just remind me the dates that you'll be here for BMI.
I'm just gonna check quickly. Give me 2 seconds. I'm pretty sure it's a Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, so 4th and 5th, maybe.
Yes, and that would be starting from the afternoon. Let me give you the correct 2:30 in Grand Hyatt, Bogota.
Great. So everyone that's online that is in Bogota, if you would like to meet with Rachel and learn a little bit more about UTS, she will be at BMI on the 4th and the 5th of March at El Hotel Grand Hyatt, que está cerca del aeropuerto. So if you have any questions that you might not have thought of now, but you would like to ask them in person, definitely feel free to go to BMI. And remember that our open call for Programa Crédito Beca closes on February 28th. So if you have not started your application, definitely create your account on colfuturo.org so you can start getting all your documents together. We will be sending out this recording, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much, Lisa and Rachel, for taking the time to talk a little bit about UTS.
Thank you very much, Bianca.
Thank you, guys.
You're
Have a good night.
welcome. Bye, everyone. Have a great night.